This is, of course, your neighborhood news squirrel here, Salvi the Blue Squirrel, who isn't really blue, but that's not here or there. We're going to be talking about some news today, and of course, these are all going to be my opinions. And if you like my opinions and you like what you see, comment down below, like, subscribe, all that fancy stuff that YouTube does. And if you want to watch me on Twitch, I'm the_mad_Salvi on Twitch there as well. Thank you. Any Color Inc., the parent company of Nijisanji and Nijisanji and all those kind of companies, they are on the attack. They're being attack dogs against some people. Let's see what they're saying. They say, to everyone who supports Nijisanji and EN for young people, thank you very much for the continued support of Nijisanji and Nijisanji EN. The live streamers and Any Color are always taking on new challenges to deliver exciting content that fans can enjoy. Whether you like the company or not, yes, the VTubers work hard to do that. Now, whether Nijisanji works hard, that's something else. But let's take a look. However, in this world where there are people or different ways of thinking, there are not only positive opinions about the live streamers and Any Color, but also negative ones. Live streaming and Any Color take these negative opinions seriously so they can create an even better content. Yes, that's good. I mean, that's good. If it's true, that's good. About the Nijisanji part, I'm pretty sure that the livers, the VTubers, like I said, I'm always on their side. The VTubers probably do take a lot of things to heart, sometimes a little too much, because it can be painful to see all these negative things happen. There are also people who go beyond simply expressing negative opinions to use verbal abuse against live streamers, attacking their character. This is the thing, of course. You do not want to do harassment. You can attack some things that they've done. You can criticize things that they've done. Like, for example, I criticized the black screen stream. If they do anything else after that, then I'll criticize that as well. But I also support people who are staying away from drama, like Scarla and others. And I do not actually go against harassing. I don't go and harass them. I'm very much against harassment, so I don't go and harass them. Any Color does not tolerate any form of verbal abuse and will take legal action against any of that. At Any Color, we have prepared a report from where fans can report information about accounts. So it's basically a report form. We regret that we cannot express our gratitude for each and every message, but we do read all of your messages, of course, because that allows for them to do lawsuits and stuff. Furthermore, we are taking appropriate legal action against accounts that use verbal abuse, so please rest assured at this point. If you come across verbal blank, please use this as a report rather than reporting it in the comments during the stream or in a social media post addressed to the streamer. Live streamers would love to receive your warm words of encouragement in the form of comments during their streams or in posts addressed to them on social media. Each and every warm word becomes a source of motivation for the live streamers' activities. Of course, rather than just asking for your support, our company and our streamers will continue to work even harder to bring you magical content. And of course, the report form is there for any slander against live streamers, unauthorized production of Nijisanji and Nijisanji EN content or impersonation. Now, of course, in the US, this does not cover fair use, which is what I'm doing. I'm covering their stuff, but I'm doing fair use. Now they have something here to further on this. It says, regarding reporting defamatory conduct when a company discover it, if you're mainly a young person, please also check this out. And we also have set up a report form. They say thank you. Report form was established. We have been receiving large amount of information every day. As a general rule, it's difficult to respond to each report individually, so they won't do that. But they check all the information, of course. Use the report form. Please refrain from reporting defamatory behavior or posting requests to take action against defamatory behavior by using comments during the broadcast for affiliate live streams or replying to them on social media. So don't go, what they're saying is don't be from what I understand that was a little confusing for me, but don't try to be a hero. Report it instead. Don't actually go and physically go against these things. We would like to once again express our deepest gratitude for your ongoing cooperation in eradicating slanderous behavior against our affiliated live streamers. And we look forward to your continued support. So here we go. This is the report form that they have here. There's a form that's in Japanese, of course, but that is the one that you can use for that. And here is a little bit of things that they have, a little visual for that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of what every company does. They have gone on the attack recently very strongly against these things, which is good. It's not a bad thing. It helps their livers, it helps their VTubers, helps the talents behind it. And of course, whatever the company has done, the talents are not responsible for that. Remember to direct your anger and direct your frustrations against the actual relevant people, which are the upper management of Nijisanji. 99% of the time, it is not the talents, it is the management that screws up. They threw her under the bus. What am I talking about here? I wish I didn't have to talk about this, but Astraline, a small company that I was very much rooting for, and can very much change the PR based on what I'm going to be saying. They can definitely change their PR, but they messed up. They threw her under the bus. We're talking about Ruze and Merryweather, who is the leader of Astraline. He is the CEO of Astraline and Merryweather Media. Recently, they wrote Beato Beaufort's their whole lore on this thing. And of course, she does look like a goth loli type, and that is perfectly fine. It hits a lot of boxes. It checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. Here's the issue that I have. According to this person here, Zan VT, who apparently is in the Astraline server or in some way connected to it, has some information. There was this thing that happened here. According to what's been said, they abuse a VTuber with a loli model. People immediately rejoice that Astraline finally starts being talked about again. Vocal minority, which is always the vocal minority. You cannot cater to the vocal minority. They aren't your fans, really. They aren't the money makers, really. Don't cater to them. They start complaining loudly because ew, lolicon. Having a loli does not mean it's lolicon. It doesn't mean that they're they're made into S beings or anything like that. Bend the knee and throw talent under the bus. Absolutely the worst choice of PR and business-wise. What are we talking about? Here, Astraline team has received and reviewed some server members' recent feedback regarding the NSFW tag, among other matters. Before detailed responses, we want to first make it clear. Beaufort, both as a character and a person, is a fully grown adult. From ideation to completion, her model design, as well as any other illustrations or art assets, follows her own vision and artistic preference. We respect her creative expression, and of course that was good. Astraline community, both talents and viewers, is a diverse space where people from various backgrounds come together. There will inevitably be some differences in preferences, values, beliefs, paradigms, and other things. We welcome constructive feedback, which is good. Maintain a positive environment. We do not condone unfounded speculation. Suggestions for Beatrice's to change her model design and other assets. This is the third paragraph. Current model design holds a dear place in Beatrice's heart. We would appreciate community members refrain from making such suggestions because it will hurt her, of course. Mods will delete and take further action upon this. On a related note, server suggestion channels for providing suggestions on server functionality, not talent actions or design, because people were complaining too much. So it says Beatrice's tag in the NSFW gallery on the server, and as well as the tags in general. X, Twitter, NSFW tag, Beatonani will no longer be used. So that is the problem. Okay, they understand, people are going to have complaints, etc. Why is it no longer going to be used? Because here's the thing. She's an adult. In her lore, she's an adult. Okay. Then you have also, the fact is, she's petite. Because you have the quote-unquote loli background, it doesn't mean it is the con form. It is just loli as in petite. That is the way it is described in Japan. You can have 25-year-old lolis, which is basically a petite form. That is an aesthetic. So, they threw her under the bus. They're basically like, we are going to get rid of the NSFW tag to make a comfortable environment for everyone. The Beatrice tag has been removed from the NSFW gallery. As a general note, you may take preventive actions to avoid content. Why not just tell people, instead of throwing her under the bus and being like, screw her, we're taking all this stuff off. It could be a small thing for a lot of people, but for me it's annoying when they do this. Instead of doing that, why didn't you just be like, if you don't enjoy it, you can mute it, you can silence that one so it never pops up on you, and you never have to see it again. Those are things you can do in a server. Don't throw your people under the bus. And this is, of course, Beatrice right there. And you have, instead of letting Beatrice make all those choices herself and standing by her creative decision, we now have a precedent that if you complain loud enough, Astraline will let themselves be walked over and to the detriment of their talents. Why not back up your talent, be like, she's an adult? The model is an adult. It is a petite model. It is not an underage model. We can have an SFW about it. You don't like it, you can mute it. You can, hide the channels. Or if you want to do that, make a specific server role where the Beatrice stuff is removed. You can have that. Easy to do. Don't throw your talent under the bus. That is just the worst PR move. You just said ew to her. You just basically said she's nasty. We're not going to have any NSFW of her. Maybe you didn't say it directly, but that's the way it feels. How is she going to feel now? Is she gonna feel comfortable now being like she was just basically told, you are a child, we do not want anything of that sort here. You do not have your agency because you belong under us. That's what you basically said. It's freaking crazy. You bent the knee to the vocal minority. Those are the social justice warriors. Those are people who do not care about the talent. They do not care about Beatrice. They really didn't care in the first place. They wanted to see if you would kowtow to them. They wanted to see if you would bend the knee. And guess what? You did. You were weak and you bent the knee. Now that is my opinion. This can be changed, which is also my opinion. This can also be fixed, which is of my opinion. I am very much against a company doing this, whether it be Hololive, Astraline, and like I said, I do love Astraline, I do respect Merryweather, I do respect this, but this was a bad move. Overall, this was a bad move. Wow. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to criticize people on bad moves such as this. And I will continue to criticize people on bad moves such as this. You may not like the aesthetic, you may not like that there's an NSFW tag, but just don't watch it. Beatrice didn't want NSFW art. That should have come from her. Making the decision of her sets a horrible precedent. I'm not upset at the no NSFW art. I'm upset that Astraline is forcing the decision for Beatrice rather than letting her make it. I am too. Like I said, if you're like, okay, no more NSFW art, make that a rule. Ask her and just make that not a rule, a role. Make that a role where you can be like, okay, all the Beatrice stuff is removed for all the people who don't like it. But let her make that decision. If you don't want it to be there, let her make that decision. Don't just be like, all right, we saw some of you weren't comfortable. The 5 of you that weren't comfortable, all right, we've removed it. And then here it says, I think Beatrice doesn't want to appeal to those people, of course. I think if they don't want to, they can actually do it like herself. I'm absolutely not into that. I'm not into that either. That should be her decision. Astraline and agency should have stood by it. If she did stand by it, she should have made an announcement. There should have been something there. We're going by what we can see. They made it. It was so important that they made it into a server announcement. They didn't say, okay, Beatrice and I and us, we have had a discussion. We've both decided jointly to not have that. That's the thing. She was involved. It's crucial for PR to let her fans know, and they didn't. That's where they messed up. It sets a horrible precedent. What if the company and some of the talents get into real controversy? Will Astraline just throw them under the bus, sacrifice them to try to save face? And here's the thing. You cannot like lolicon. I don't like lolicon. I don't stand for it. I don't like people who like lolicon. That is their own thing. It is their own thing, though. I will not attack them, but it's their own thing. I don't appreciate it. I don't like it. That's just the way it is. But let her make that decision. If she made that decision, come out and say she was one of the ones who made that decision. If she didn't, if she doesn't want to cater to those people, perfect. Say it. The fact that you didn't say it, if you were quote unquote trying to protect her or whatever, the fact that you didn't say it makes it look really bad on you. And yes, I'm ranting because this annoys me. It annoys me when companies do this. Kowtow to the lowest common denominator. Kowtow to the lowest people who probably don't even give a damn about your company. And they probably aren't even watching to begin with. They're just seeing if they can make you do things to change things around to fit their narrative. And that is the issue. Astraline absolutely is not a horrible company. Astraline Merryweather is not a horrible person, but they made a huge mistake in my opinion. Mint is in the news, this time for the best reasons. She usually is in the news for the best reasons. Sometimes people are a little toxic towards her, but other than that, she is good herself. Here we go. Again, sorry for the burning of your eyeballs, but they don't have a dark mode here. Maybe I can force a dark mode. There we go. I apologize for that. I'm forcing a dark mode. I'm going to have to unforce it when I do the next story. But here we go. It says, I make a living out of YouTube playing an anime character. I'm very shy, and it's helped me get out of my comfort zone. This basically is Maid Mint, virtual anime style. Vtuber shirt. They're kind of giving, since this is Business Insider doing it, they're giving a little bit of a rundown. And this is a bit of her mentioning this. Most of my income comes from donations on YouTube. More of VTubers are infiltrating Western culture. Looking at her average day. Try to stream for 2 to 4 hours a day on YouTube. Filming is simpler than people think. Use a phone, and there are programs like VTube Studio, VC Face. VTubers use to generate their avatars, like myself. She went to school for filmography. Ooh, so she has some experience. When I first started, I streamed in my closet. It was a small walk-in closet with good sound insulation. When I'm not streaming, I create my own graphics. Oh, she gets her own stuff. Very nice. Hard for me to turn the switch off. Some creators can say they don't go online or on social media at certain times. I'm also one of those people that doesn't have one of those. So log out from a job for browsing personal Instagram. So she does go on Instagram and things like that. When she's streaming, she will see a small number on screen of how many people are watching. So she tries not to focus on that, I think. I know that there are people, I know the usernames are present, represent a person. Even after all these years, I feel so ordinary. I don't feel like an influencer at all. There is anonymity, of course, that she mentions here. Let's talk about here, of course, of her first thing here. She has 347k subscribers, as she mentions. Virtual characters we play online, like our innies, which were separate workplace identities to show characters. Discovered YouTube several years ago. Many of those I follow were from a Japanese company called Cover Corporation. So she's a big fan of Hololive, as she says here. Really fun to consume. And she went into Hololive, like trying to get into Hololive. She went in for auditions for the English-speaking creator shot. I realized that it could be really cool for me to try. Didn't get the role. However, through audition process, I met some independent VTubers who inspired me. Realized you don't have to work with a huge corporation to do this work. So she went on to another company that she doesn't mention because I think she's still under NDA. Even if she wasn't, she is very much in the VTuber sphere, very much in the idol sphere. And there are certain unwritten rules in the VTuber sphere and the idol sphere. Ones that I don't really care for personally, but she respects them heavily. So that is why she still doesn't talk about that agency. As others like Kudo and others have said, the NDAs don't last for too long. They last for about a year or so. So if you're gone for about that time, the NDA isn't in force anymore. She's been around for about a year as Maid Mint. And I think even before that, I think she's went from leaving to being Maid Mint about a month after she left. So it would not be enforced, but she wants to self-enforce because she just doesn't want to ruffle feathers. You know, whatever her reasons are, I respect it. I definitely respect that. So I'm very, very happy that Maid Mint got one of these Business Insider to talk to her. Got a big, this is a big magazine, and it's a normie magazine to talk about Mint. As is normal in Reddit, whenever someone posts something that they don't like, or posts something from a person they don't like, or whatever it is, they just go on it, or just in some cases it's just really just hate. Like this is self-promotion, blah blah blah. People are just, you know, criticizing because they can. It's Reddit. It's not necessarily a Kurosanji thing. It's just fucking Reddit. It's just the way it is. So here we go. This person's talking about the VNU situation, going through, of course, putting their own stuff in here. Monoseraphy.
USD for leaving the company. Luckily, she didn't have to pay.
So yeah, the amount of Seraphy things. Of course, talking about the specific livers who did the specific stuff. It was definitely a bad take for them. I don't think it was VNU that actually did anything crazy out there. Like VNU themselves seem to have been fixing a lot of stuff. VNU themselves seem to have been trying to stay out of the limelight, but the VTubers that were graduating themselves and their friends were not doing the best, not going through and actually doing their own PR and doing the PR correctly. That's what this one's trying to cover. The reason why I covered it is because I wanted to just let you guys see the type of vitriol that happens no matter what you do. Especially if you cover news like this, you're going to get vitriol from some side somewhere on the seedy sides of the internet. Reddit, Twitter, they're all that kind of way. They're all toxic in their own way. So I just wanted to mention that. Regis Altare from Holostars EN, Hero of Elysium, guild leader of Tempest, has been making a couple of moves. Apparently, recently they got some rock wool safe and sound installation because they are, you know, revamping things. I'm going to have to get some kind of a little bit better sound installation for my window because I speak in front of a window, so sound goes out. I kind of don't want to bug anybody outside, so that's one of those things. Of course, let's take a look at other things they've said. I want to dance and sing in the rain, but that'll get me sick, so instead I'll just dance in the rain. Dancing in the rain, like dance like it's raining men. I mean, question is what kind of dance are you bringing in the rain? And then next is, of course, they are getting back into the swing of things next week. Thanks for waiting for me. They have been gone, as you can see here, since around November. They've been off and on, but they're making a full swing of things back in soon. What is nice about it is that means that Cover, Hololive, etc. has not been forcing him to come back, has not been forcing him to do anything that he doesn't want to do. The negative side, as I've mentioned before, and people hate me whenever I mention this, people always call me a Nijisanji shill or whatever. If you see my content, you'll see I'm just objective, and I try to, criticize where criticism is due. Hololive has had failings in its past. Hololive, even their CEO has realized and recognized that they have failings, and they are trying to fix it. Those failings have hurt people in the past, like Regis and Holostars, for being seemingly neglected, at least neglected more. The Holostars, yen, at least that side, has been neglected a bit more than they would like. Of course, because the companies will focus on their moneymakers. That's just a natural human thing. You're going to focus on what makes you money. But that doesn't mean that you should, ignore other things. There have been issues. Luckily, Hololive is one of those places where the reason why we know about it is because the talents are allowed to openly criticize, as long as it's not like really bad criticism. They're openly able to talk about things. They are not chastised or canceled in their own company for talking about things. They can do these things, and that is a good sign, a sign of a healthy company, a sign of a good company. So even though I do have, my misgivings about certain things that have happened, I know things will get fixed eventually. And that is what I want you to know. He's going to be back. He had his issues before. He's mentioned it before. But he's back in the swing of things and doing what he loves most, which is creating content for each and every one of you. Crimson Ruze, the greatest beast hunter and your least favorite idol of Holostars EN, is in the news today. Why are they in the news? Just something nice that happened, something nice that they did, which is this. If you remember, during their showcase, which I put on my channel, it was in one of my news videos. They did a 3D showcase recently, and this was their Zade. Their Zade, which was a, one of their mascots there, and it was actually a part of the 3D debut. Now they actually get to have a full-on Live 2D debut. Let's take a look. Here's where they were.
Hi, I'm Zade. I'm really messing this up. Anyway, this is my big debut, my Zade debut, and I have a lot of slides. I can show you.
Zade is cute. Zade is love. Zade is life. That's where you go.
Hold on. Four of us, and then we can step up and grab the moon. Yeah. I think that's a really good idea. Okay, hold on. I've got another slide for you.
Very cute. Very cute. Very cute.
This is really hard. Why do people do this part?
I do like that it does pupil tracking. I do like that. I do like that it does pupil tracking.
Why does it take over this channel permanently? I don't know if I would be allowed to take over it permanently. I gotta go home and take sleep sometimes.
They love Zade more than they love Ruze, but that's kind of expected in the whole deal. That's how it works. That's how it works here. Now here we go. It says, thank you for letting me move my mouth and eyes and legs and eyes and face and tail and eyes and stuff. You are the bester. It says Rosie, the one who did the Zade debut Live 2D. Whether it was because it was for April 1st, for April Fool's Day, it is still a very well done mascot model of Live 2D that allows, movement of their eyes, their face, their all the stuff, their little claws, everything. So it still is a lot of work put into it, and that's why I want to showcase the person who did it as well. Welcome back, everybody, to the Vtuber Showcase, the place where I like to showcase up-and-coming VTubers of various sizes, shapes, forms, types, everything in between. Why do I do this? I do this because I want it to be a positive space, not a space where we knock each other down, but build each other up. Even if I have some news that might be negative, I don't want it to be negative in this section. Today we're talking about lunahfae, who is a dolphin VTuber. Come meet some flippin' friends. And of course, everyone wants some friends around here. Everyone wants to have some fun, which is what we're trying to do today. Let's see lunahfae here. This is her Twitch channel, where she has a little thing right there, and she also has her intro that we can take a look at. Let's take a look at what she's doing. Dolphin VTuber, hey you, it's a variety streamer. If you like dad jokes, come in and meet some new flipping friends. And here we go. Let's take a look here. Some audio has been muted apparently for some of this stuff. Oh, this is another one. Oh, no, this is her. This is her. So just making sure. Let me just X that one.
I don't know what these O's sound like. How you doing? How's your Thursday?
There you go. She be doing some singing.
In the mountain store. Born underground, suckled from a teacher stone ring.
So yeah, I'm not gonna be able to play too much of that one, but let's play this one.
Kinda crazy. Okay, please be idiots. Please have your internet disconnect. Please do anything. Boom, boom, boom.
She qualified. It happened. It happened.
We beat baby Basil. I don't know if we beat at the stream yet. Look at us.
Damn, she did a no jumping Fall Guys win. I've never done that. I've always had to jump in one way, shape, or form because I'm a dumbass. So I've always had to do one shape or form that way. So of course, big congratulations to them. And also, thank you so much, lunahfae, for allowing me to showcase you on my channel. I will also, of course, put down the lunahfae channel, the YouTube side, as well, down in the description below. I'll put this, her act there in order for you to be able to see both sides if you want to. And I do hope this helps you in some way. Thank you so much for watching. That is all the news that we have for today. Please let me know down below if you want to know any more news or if you have any comments regarding anything that you saw here, which I will try my best to respond to. I love seeing your comments down below. Of course, as well, like and subscribe to the channel. That will give you more information every single day. I do 2 videos a day, so hopefully you enjoy.